Going on, everybody? John Matrix here, back with some more SCP goodness for you. Today we're taking a look at exploring the SCP Foundation, the Global Occult Coalition. This is kind of a follow-up from the Site 13 video that we did, and there's a couple of other follow-ups that we're going to do because there was a lot that happened in that video, lots of different SCPs and things talked about. So that was a pretty wild one. So we're probably going to do a little series of follow-up videos, kind of going along the very tangents that thing brought up, and this is one of them. So as always, links down below in the description to the Exploring Series channel and to this original video without my commentary, reaction, etc. If you want to go check that out, feel free to do so. The Exploring Series has a lot of great content on his channel, and he does more than just the SCP. He does stuff for a lot of different universes. So yeah, but let's get into it here. Again, exploring the SCP Foundation, the Global Occult Coalition. Boop. And volume is good.
The Global Occult Coalition. One of the most common questions people ask when discussing dangerous SCPs is, why doesn't the Foundation just destroy it? In some cases, it certainly seems like a good question, as it's strange that the Foundation would go to such lengths to contain something so dangerous.
I feel like it's a situation where if you can contain it, you at least know what the outcome of that containment's going to be, whereas if you kill it, who knows what could happen, you know what I mean? Because I would assume there's probably certain SCPs that if they were to be destroyed, it could cause some kind of cataclysmic event within and of itself, just by it dying. So I assume that's generally what the case is. It's better to just contain, like, I don't know if the saying really applies, but like, you know, the devil you know kind of a situation, you know? Like, when it's contained, you know, it's at least contained, and you can predict what's going to happen with that, but you don't necessarily can predict what's going to happen afterwards.
As it's strange that the Foundation would go to such lengths to contain something so dangerous when they could just kill or destroy it. The answer varies depending on the SCP, such as the Foundation has tried and failed to destroy it, or more broadly, it's just not the Foundation's way to destroy SCPs, as they are focused on securing things. But what if there was a similar...
Plus, I'm sure there's probably a lot you could still learn from them anyways. You know, new ways of seeing technology, or how things work, or ideas about how the universe could work, etc., just by observing a lot of these SCPs, no matter how dangerous. So, I mean, there's always, I'm sure, something new to learn as well that maybe you wouldn't be able to if you could kill it, if it's even possible to kill it. You know, because, I mean, it's like some of these SCPs are, you know, reality-changing, god-level creatures that, like, probably can't be destroyed, or if you could destroy it, could alter the fabric of the space-time continuum and the universe in general, and who knows what would happen.
They are focused on securing things. But what if there was a similar organization that didn't quite follow the same rules, and did want to destroy these dangerous anomalies? This organization would be called the Global Occult Coalition. The GOC is its own part of the SCP universe, and someone could...
Now, I think other than before the Site 13 video, the only thing I can remember about being mentioned with the Global Occult Coalition was they might have been funded by the UN, or they're part of the UN, or something like that. Seeing this symbol here kind of reminded me of that, but otherwise, I haven't really gotten much into them beforehand. So... But they seem to be kind of, I guess, I don't know if necessarily opposite is the right word of the SCP Foundation, but they definitely have more of a philosophy of destroy than contain.
The GOC is its own part of the SCP universe, and someone could quite easily enjoy the SCP universe without ever reading much about them. However, there are a number of SCPs contained or known to the Foundation that have a link with the GOC, as well as a large number of tales related to them, far more than I could cover in this video. The purpose of this video is to just give you a solid understanding of who the GOC are and how they operate, so that you can continue learning more about them on your own. The first main event linked to the founding of the GOC occurred in 1882, when a group of German occultists managed to capture and destroy an energy entity that was being worshipped as a god by several Semitic tribes thousands of years prior. The destruction of this entity resulted in a psychic backlash in the area, causing feelings of nihilism in certain sensitive individuals, notably philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, who wrote about God being dead, referring to the entity. This leftover energy was apparently going to be utilized by members of Nazi Germany during World War II to complete an occult ritual known as the Rite of Solomon. Details during this time are sparse, but
this is very, very Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's what I'm getting from this here.
Rite of Solomon. Details during this time are sparse, but the event sparked the Seventh Occult War, although practically nothing is known about the prior 6, and afterwards led to the founding of the Global Occult Coalition in order to prevent future similar events. Of course, the SCP Foundation already exists during this time, but they mostly act independently of any governmental body and have very little oversight. The Global Occult Coalition, on the other hand, grew out of a desire from the United Nations to have their own organization devoted to protecting the world from the paranormal. Since no single nation could be trusted...
Just call the Ghostbusters, man. That's all you need. Who you gonna call, brother?
...the world from the paranormal. Since no single nation could be trusted with the secretive handling of anomalous objects and creatures, the GOC was formed from the cooperation of 108 different paranormal organizations, including the Bavarian Illuminati, the Knights Templar, and the United Church of Satan.
Interesting.
These organizations work with the GOC to cover a broad field of the anomalous and paranormal, and the United Nations fund the organization, as long as there is a degree of oversight from them. The GOC's mission statement, then, covers 5 different goals. Primarily, their first and most important mission is to protect the human race from any threats outside of the norm. Secondly is to conceal the knowledge of these threats from humanity to avoid panic and anarchy.
Kind of like Men in Black.
Third, individual humans will be protected during the course...
Kind of like Men in Black, but instead of aliens, well, I guess technically aliens could be SCP related, but yeah, it's SCP instead of just alien stuff, so interesting.
Third, individual humans will be protected during the course of GOC operations, unless this mission interferes with the first 2. Fourth is the destruction of paranormal threats, as their existence goes against the first 3 missions, and no unnecessary...
Well, I gotta be messing with my boy Cthulhu, man. He's just sitting here chilling. You know, I gotta be nuking him and shit. From what I hear, Cthulhu is a fine gentleman that wants nothing to do with any of this. I haven't really gotten into him yet, but that is just my understanding from certain comments.
Threats, as their existence goes against the first 3 missions, and no unnecessary risks will be taken to ensure their survival. Finally, the 5th mission is education, as GOC make every effort to learn more about the paranormal, unless it goes against any of the earlier missions. It's pretty clear from these mission statements how much the GOC differ from the Foundation, but their logic and intent is sound. The GOC operates through 3 separate divisions: Physics, Psych, and Ptolemy. The Physics Division handle the actual investigation and capture or elimination of paranormal threats. The Psych Division focuses on diplomacy and observation, and Ptolemy is the Support Division, handling logistics, management, and research into the paranormal.
Interesting.
GOC operatives mostly utilize technology and weaponry that is readily available to militaries and other organizations, so that it wouldn't cause any concern if lost in the field. But they do occasionally use tech that comes from paranormal research to better aid in eliminating anomalous threats.
I mean, you wouldn't want, like, squad of these guys to get wiped out with some kind of super advanced tech that isn't supposed to be known to humanity. And then, you know, Joe Schmo happens to, you know, come upon all this stuff, and who knows what could happen then. You know what I mean? So it makes sense that they wouldn't necessarily always employ, I guess, what would be considered the latest and greatest from, you know, technologically. They would just be using what is readily available. They wouldn't be like using rail guns or, you know, phaser weapons or anything kind of crazy, unless like it was specifically developed to deal with a specific SCP. You know what I mean?
These advanced pieces of technology also include combat and infiltration suits that incorporate bullet-resistant nanofibers, augmented reality systems, cloaking devices, or even full-body exoskeletons.
Power armor.
Field agents are fully prepared to tackle the various threats they might encounter, and are capable of taking down highly dangerous anomalies, such as those capable of regeneration, shape-shifting, or even bending reality. Despite this preparation...
Yeah, what are you really supposed to do against something that can alter reality? Like, alter what you see, what you hear, what you think, is what you, like... At that point, it's like, what is real? You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what you would do to fight that, and how... What kind of technology would be to, like, filter that stuff out? You know, especially with, like, what they talked about in Site 13 with the, mimetic hazards or whatever that you could see that could, you know, drive you insane and make you hallucinate and see things or think things, or, you know, whatever. Like, I don't know. It'd be interesting to know, like, how that technology has been developed, where it came from, and how it exactly does, like, the filtering process. But anyway.
Shifting, or even bending reality. Despite this preparation, however, capturing and eliminating anomalous entities is no easy feat, and GOC operatives are fully aware how likely their deaths are. So far, everything seems fairly logical. A well-funded, well-trained organization that have spent decades investigating and eliminating paranormal threats. So why doesn't the SCP Foundation adopt a similar methodology? To answer that, we'll have to look at a few specific examples, when the GOC especially messed things up.
Already learned about one.
Likely the most relevant example is SCP-1609, a pile of wood splinters, nails, and scraps of fabric, currently contained by the SCP Foundation. Originally, 1609 was a large chair carved in the form of a reclining woman that would detect when anyone in an unknown radius around it needed to sit down and didn't have a comfortable seat nearby. The chair would then teleport to them and remain there until someone else needed a seat. This was the extent of its anomalous properties, but the GOC managed to capture it and send it through a wood chipper, as a teleporting chair could easily risk breaking the mission of secrecy held by the GOC.
Like, why would you just put it through a wood chipper? Why? It's made of wood. Why wouldn't you just, like, incinerate it? You know what I mean? If you really want to destroy it, why not just incinerate it?
Risk breaking the mission of secrecy held by the GOC. The destroyed chair killed a number of GOC personnel before suddenly appearing in an unused containment cell owned by the Foundation.
The fuck?
SCP-1609 is now much more dangerous, and when reacting to specific stimuli, will become violent, teleporting portions of itself into the lungs of those who have angered it.
Advice on the GOC, super interesting, good intentions, horrible follow through. The Foundation is perfect. Man, does the GOC fumble the bag sometimes? Like I said above, good intentions, horrible follow through though. Yeah, like, you really wanted to destroy something made of wood, just incinerate it. Don't just like, hey, let's just put it through a wood chipper and turn it into mulch. You know what I mean? Nothing bad could happen with that. I don't know. But then, so now it's just able to, like, teleport pieces of it into people's lungs and just, like, okay. So that obviously, like, has some kind of sentience. Interesting, though.
Teleporting portions of itself into the lungs of those who have angered it. This quickly leads
Gotta
to
show me
death,
914.
at which point it will teleport back to its containment cell. Things that anger SCP-1609 include wearing clothing similar to the GOC uniform, usage of words or phrases utilized by GOC personnel, such as threat entity, the sound of a running motor, or anything overtly hostile to 1609.
They better not have someone out there mowing the yard then, bro. Like, gonna set it off.
In itself. To counter this, the Foundation believes that 1609 prefers situations where it can be useful to humans, as it once did as a chair, and so they use the 1609 mass as mulch for a flower bed. Part of the containment procedures mention that anyone who visits the flower bed must remark on the beauty of the flowers and the quality of the mulch. The report for 1609 ends with a document from a Foundation doctor who explains that 1609 is a cautionary tale of the flaws inherent in the GOC's operating procedures. He summarizes how it's a perfect example of why the Foundation contains rather than destroys, and says that when you destroy something, you can't go back on your mistake. He concludes by saying that this is why the Foundation is right, and the GOC are wrong. Of course, it'd be odd for a Foundation employee to say differently.
Again, I feel like it's just a situation of, like, when it's contained, you know the outcome of it being contained. It is contained, it's there. If you try to kill it, or whatever, like even something that's as seemingly harmless as like a chair that just teleports to like give someone something to sit on, which that would just be a weird situation anyway, dude. Like, could you imagine just being like in your house and just like, oh man, I really need to sit down, and all of a sudden this random creepy ass chair just appears, dude? Like, what the fuck? Like, who wouldn't be wigged out at that? You know what I mean? Like, but like, I don't know. Having a situation where like, yeah, it's contained, you know what it is, and you know what the outcome of it is probably, I feel like it's just a better outcome in situations like this than trying to destroy something. And again, there's still more that you can learn that could also, you know, by observing these things, there's more that you could learn, and that could lead to new discoveries, new ways of containing, new ways of perceiving the universe and how things work, etc., etc., etc. I feel like there's more to gain than just destroying it. I mean, I'm sure there's some SCPs like, you know, the, what was it, 610? The flesh that hates or whatever, you know? That sounds like something that needs to be wiped out. I'm sorry to say, but I would probably be on the GOC side with that one. That's something that seems like it needs to just be nuked and just gotten rid of. We don't need to like contain that shit. But I think for the most part, yeah, just like contain and observe.
SCP-2002 was a large spacefaring vessel consisting of a spherical
exactly.
hull
Be nice
and
to the
roughly
mulch.
3,000 small pods attached to it.
For God's sake, Jim, just tell the mulch it's beautiful.
Of a spherical hull and roughly 3,000 small pods attached to it. Analysis of the vessel seemed to show that it belonged to the Foundation, although the current SCP Foundation only had designs under development that were similar to the ship.
Oh, interesting.
The vessel had come from an unknown location, and apparently went through some sort of temporal anomaly, but was traveling at a constant 12.5 kilometers per second towards Earth. This information and other basic details were relayed to the GOC through a covert operative working for the SCP Foundation. The GOC were not sure why the Foundation had no containment procedures in place for this SCP, but they decided that if the vessel came within a certain distance of Earth, they were planning to terminate it themselves, to avoid an apocalyptic scenario should it collide with the planet. As the vessel passed by our moon, a weaponized satellite belonging to the GOC destroyed the vessel, leaving only partial fragments to hit the Earth.
Dude, I'm sorry. Anytime anything happens where they're talking about weaponized satellites, I immediately think of Command and Conquer and the ion cannon from the GDI. It's engraved in my brain.
GOC destroyed the vessel, leaving only partial fragments to hit the Earth. These fragments were recovered by the Foundation, who also found a large number of human remains among them. The remainder of the SCP documentation reveals information that the GOC did not possess, as the vessel came from the future, where an SCP caused the global population to become sterile.
Nice.
The SCP Foundation decided to send a number of uninfected embryos, along with some Foundation personnel, into outer space, where they would remain in stasis for 135 years before coming back to Earth to repopulate it once the plague was gone. Unfortunately, the ship passed through a temporal anomaly, causing it to travel back into the past and approach our current Earth. Ultimately, this anomaly caused their mission to fail, but this demonstrated that the GOC still operated with lethal decisions.
Even in this universe, Chaos Gods are fucking with people, man. They went through the warp, got sent back in time, and then they got killed. Feels bad, man.
But this demonstrated that the GOC still operated with lethal decisions, without possessing all of the facts. SCP-1522 is perhaps another case of the GOC being unnecessarily cruel in their operations. 1522 were two sentient fishing trawlers, capable of autonomous movement and faster than normal speeds. They spent most of their time sending out modified sonar pings to play with whales, and the Foundation continually kept civilians away from them, mostly letting the ships do their own thing.
Interesting. So they're kind of like, I guess this would be like where ghost ship legends came from, you know, ships that were seemingly abandoned and nothing on there, but you know, functioned on their own, would like appear and reappear. Interesting.
The GOC, however, came in and launched harpoon missiles at one of the ships, quickly sinking it. The other ship tried to save it, but could not, and seemed to destroy itself afterwards. The Foundation eventually recovered the two sunken ships, finding two small, partially formed rowing boats in one of them. While it might seem cruel, it likely took a good deal of effort to keep information about these two anomalous ships concealed from the public, and destroying them does fit in with the GOC's mission statement.
The thing is, though, too, is like, why would they destroy them? If they're essentially harmless, they're just sentient fishing ships that like to fuck with whales. Like, what is that going to do to the world? You know what I mean? Like, why would you want to destroy them? Like, oh, excuse me, I can't stop yawning. I feel like there's got to be more to the story. So that might mean another, you know, pathway thread here that we got to follow up to. But like, unless there's some kind of reason that would call for them to like want to destroy them, you know, other than just, oh, they're SCPs must die, kill it. They seem harmless enough. So like, why would you even bother? Why would you even bother spending the resources on it? I don't know.
I don't want to be misleading with this summary, however, and so I want to...
Example of the Foundation saying it's safe to continue, leave it alone, and the GSC saying, yeah, it shouldn't exist, make it non-exist. Yeah. They definitely seem like they're just trigger happy for no reason. You know what I mean? Like, I could understand them like being an organization that's there as like a fail-safe to quote unquote protect humanity from these, you know, great threats that could be out there, things that could alter reality and things like that, you know, like crazy stuff like that. I could see there, you know, being warranted an organization that is trained and prepared to deal with and eliminate stuff like that. But stuff that's harmless, why? I feel like it would be a situation where they're like, if it's seemingly harmless, I would feel like they would want to work together with the SCP on certain things, and they would want to like, okay, this thing's harmless, you know, here you go, you guys do your job and contain it. You know, I don't know. It seems like it would be a waste of resources to destroy it. Oh, fuck. I can't stop yawning. Excuse me. Anyway.
I don't want to be misleading with this summary, however, and so I want to make it clear that these SCP articles are all written by Foundation personnel, or are likely to share a certain bias against the GOC. Looking at different perspectives, particularly in various tales, you find that the GOC are a bit more nuanced than just the common kill-all anomalies concept.
Doesn't sound like it.
These reports show the GOC are more than willing to negotiate with anomalous entities, or at the very least not destroy them immediately, and also aren't shy about showing the mistakes the Foundation makes. Since the concept of canon is so fluid in the SCP universe, it's understandable that you can't simply pigeonhole an organization like the GOC into a single perspective. Perhaps the GOC caused plenty of problems in their pursuit of protecting humanity by destroying the paranormal, such as in the alternate reality of SCP-1730. And perhaps the Foundation caused plenty of problems in their pursuit of containing and researching the paranormal. In closing, I hope that this has provided a good enough basis of understanding for the GOC to continue your own research. While the SCP Foundation will often paint the GOC as one of the bad guys,
right,
they have also been shown to work alongside them if need be, and there is mostly
which makes logical sense.
The two organizations. In the end, if nothing else,
I mean, it seems like a situation where both organizations have the same intention and goal in mind. It's just that the way they go about it is completely opposite. One's about, securing, containing. The other one's about destroying.
Peace between the two organizations. In the end, if nothing else, it seems clear that the GOC exist for humanity's protection, whether we agree with their methods or not.
All right, what's the quote we got here? Whether you're a physics division recruit, a part of one of our 108 member organizations, an outsider, or simply a concerned civilian, you're here because you've been touched by the ongoing struggle of humanity to survive and thrive in a world where the supernatural is very real. You're here to help our species. You are here to help our species in its endless war against the dark. To you, I say welcome. For those of you who would do harm to humanity, I say this. The Global Occult Coalition stands ready to defend humanity against all foes, whether it likes it or not. Yeah, I mean, like, again, as I said during the video, like, it makes logical sense to have an organization, like, in this universe of creatures that are real, that can change reality, godlike beings, that can do all kinds of things, destroy humanity, alien signals that can take over humans and cause an alien invasion and an alien, interstellar war, things like that. It would obviously make sense to create some kind of organization, military, group, whatever you want to call it, that is capable and prepared to attack and destroy these things and protect humanity. But at the same time, it also seems like they're just gung-ho on everything, and it's just like, if it's an SCP, just destroy it, even if it's harmless. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I kind of would like to learn more about what led up to them, sending cruise missiles out to destroy seemingly, helpless, or seemingly, my brain isn't working, I'm sorry, but like harmless. That's, I was saying like helpless, but harmless was the word I was looking for. Harmless, sentient fishing ships that just like playing with whales. Like, what's the point of destroying them then? Especially when you could just go to the SCP and be like, hey, we found this, why don't you guys do your job, instead of expending time, resources, and manpower for your organization that could be better used detecting and taking care of other greater threats. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just seems like they're a little gung-ho. And from the alternate reality stuff that they talked about with Site-13, there's definitely members that are kind of on like the genocidal path of things, where it's just like, if the just kill them all, just destroy them all. And we saw where that went, man. You know, I mean, like all kinds of SCPs got loose and all kinds of reality fuckery and stuff happened in that event. So, I mean, like, I don't know. There's got to be like a balance, you know what I mean? Yeah, just wait, John, the SCP Foundation has plenty of skeletons in the closet. I mean, I bet any kind of organization like the SCP Foundation or the Global Occult Coalition or anything that's dealing with like crazy outer worldly stuff that you don't really necessarily understand, they're gonna have skeletons in their closet. You know what I mean? Anytime you're dealing with stuff that you never really fully understand, there's gonna be issues that come up. Try to see it this way: the Foundation thinks that keeping anomalies away from people protects normalcy. The GOC thinks that existence of anomalies and on itself is a threat to normalcy. I feel you, but I mean, like, I get that point of view, but it's also like, you know, the universe is so vast out there. What is normal? You know what I mean? Like, who says that human existence isn't the anomaly and everything else is normal? You know what I mean? Like, you just don't know. If existence can be discovered, and if it can be discovered, threatens normalcy, that is on the risk of GOC, yeah. All depends on who and how they were written. So, anyway. But that was the Exploring series, Global Occult Coalition. Great videos always by him. As always, links will be down below in the description to this original video without my commentary or reaction, and to the Exploring series channel. As you can see here, we are doing this reaction live from our YouTube members. So if you would like to come and join in the discussions that we have before, during, after these videos, click the join button down below, see if any of the YouTube membership tiers would have any kind of interest to you. But regardless of that, if you enjoyed this video, I appreciate you hanging out and watching it. Do consider leaving a like and a sub if you did enjoy it. And I appreciate your time just coming in, hanging out, and watching the video with us. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're having yourself a wonderful day whenever you're watching us. And I'll see you guys on the next one.